TikTok parties, Nigerians search for what to blame. These are the stories that we are going to look at. And also, Ekiti State students protest demand justice lane call members. When we come back from the show break, I'm going to introduce my guest. As a matter of fact, he's no longer my guest. He's Michael as well. So we're going to look into these stories together. When we come back, I'm going to introduce her. Please stay tuned.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
All right. We're glad to have you back. In case you're just tuning in, you are watching Atlantic Television Network, and the program is Press Roundtable. So this beautiful evening, it is my pleasure to announce the presence of my co-anchor this evening. He's a media practitioner. Susan Abbey is going to do justice with this programs with me this evening. Susan, good to have you again on the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you. All right. So, Lava, my name is Angel Mokoma, popularly known as Angelic Angel. So, first of all, let's just look at the one coming from free scarcity. What the House of Reps said, what is actually going on. The House of Reps has summoned the Minister of Petroleum Resources and all relevant stakeholders in the petroleum industry to appear before the Assembly and brief Nigerians on the measures put in place to end the current fuel scarcity and avert its recurrence in the future. The resolution was sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance on the need to address the lingering fuel scarcity and rising retail prices of premium motor spirit PMS across Nigeria by Rep. Umar Shehu Ajilo on Tuesday at plenary. That's today. Now, the motion reads, worried by the lingering fuel scarcity accompanied by excessive increase in the retail price of premium motor spirits in filling stations across the country, which has no doubt occasioned additional hardship to the Nigerian citizens. Concerned that this fuel scarcity is coming at a time when the further concerned that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited is yet to address this perennial and persistent fuel scarcity problem faced by Nigerians despite the volume of resources at its disposal. Most worrisome that all these economic quagmires have made the lives of average Nigerians unbearable, with a liter of fuel selling as much as 1,200 naira in some states of the Federation. Now, we're actually looking at the fuel scarcity, because if you look at the fuel stations right now, you notice that there are a lot of queues and yes, a lot of queues, because if you look at some other stations, fuel stations is locked up. Why? Because they lack the PMS. They do not have the they don't even have, some of them don't even have the PMS. Okay, now there is scarcity and it's affecting the country. It's affecting the economy. Everyone is crying. Everyone is bittered. Even while coming to this place, you know how much you paid. And, compared to, like, let me just say, we can't compare this to last year. Now, the PMS is being on the increase. And as a matter of fact, on the increase, we are also experiencing scarcity. I think that's why the rep has to summon the petroleum minister. I just have to discuss about this right now. Do you think it's really nice for them to summon him? Yes, to me, I believe it's okay for them to summon him, because they are under whatever, both the marketers and all of those people, they are under him. Yeah. So he has the right to know, to tell Nigerians what is happening in the oil and gas sector. What do you think about that?
All right. So first of all, I think it is a very sad situation.
Very sad one.
2024, an oil-producing country is still experiencing fuel scarcity. It is very, very sad. And I also think that it is very, very necessary to invite the petroleum minister, because, as you said, accountability. He has to account for things. He has to answer questions. Why is this thing happening? What is the cost? What are the causes behind these things? So it is very, very important that he was summoned. Very, very important.
Then, it's not just about summoning him, but But then afterwards, what happens after Sonomini? What do you think they can make out of it? What do you think he can do? So as a matter of fact, Nigerians are actually waiting for him to give us account. Because the economy is so hard, it's telling on everyone. Now, some people are selling, a liter of fuel is selling as
much
much
as
as
1,200 naira per
1,200.
liter.
And even the black marketers. So this is a time for them to exploit people, which is not good for Nigerians. And the economy is so hard that if we are experiencing scarcity now, I think it's going to tell on all of us and everyone. That means no one has to drive again.
Yeah.
You won't take your children to school. Students are protesting. There are a lot of things are happening, like how if you're a lecturer, you need to fear your school. You need to eat food. You can't even buy if you're buying like a plate of food for 1,000 naira. Yeah, I don't know. It's
You
just
won't
very
even guess
small.
it's worth.
It looks like 300 naira, 300 naira worth of food
Yes.
before, but now you can't even if you spend to eat good food. Let's just say 2,000 naira on the average, 2,000 naira or 1,500 naira, because it's just very small, you know. But now, how can we handle this whole thing? The economy, everything is on the increase. The food stuff is skyrocketing. At the same time, we're experiencing fuel scarcity. Now, if you look at yesterday, we talked about that the people, the Basiki, increase the minimum wage from 40% to 70%. I don't know, you read about it.
Yes.
And he did well, in as much as it's not going to be enough. Now, we are experiencing scarcity. In a country, we do not have even minimum wage, because the minimum wage is nothing now. Now, nobody other than Obaseki, who said, okay, let's do it for 70%. No other governor has even done it. Now, where are we heading to? Where are we heading to in this economy? Okay. Where are we heading to? What are we expecting? Is it for us to run away? For us to be trekking to, because you're going to be queried. If you come to work late, you have to be queried.
Yes. Well, you can't run away from your dear country.
You cannot. And if you don't come to work because of scarcity of fuel, you will also be queried. Why?
Yeah.
And you will say, okay, it's only fuel scarcity. I couldn't get fuel to come to work. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I think what is necessary now is for them to sit together with the petroleum minister. Let him sit with these people, those that account for him. Let them tell us what is happening, where we are going to. I don't know.
Please, we can't go.
Because I don't know if you are going into extinction, because this is really telling on all of us.
Yes, it's like the country is going downhill. You think it can't get any worse, and then it goes lower.
It goes lower, because now there is scarcity of fuel. You can't do nothing. You cannot do just nothing, you know. But once there is fuel, you go, okay, they said we're buying
Really, I don't know, I should use the word crazy for Nigerians. Yeah.
It's really crazy. And another story today was Saudi Saints at the Senate today as three senators engage in a heated debate over, because what I'm going to do, the stories I'm going to read to you is really quite, it's interesting to know what is happening in the Senate. So three senators engage in a heated debate today over sitting, as in sitting sitting issues, okay, and now arrangement. Now, there were rowdy scenes at the Senate today on as three senators engaged, like I was telling you, in a heated debate over where to sit, because that place is a newly refurbished place. Now, two senators were Danjuma Goje, Gombe Central, and Sahabi Yahoo from Zamfara North. They expressed their displeasure over the seat assigned to them and complained to Opeyemi Bamidele, the Senate Majority Leader. Senator Sunday Karimi, who represents Kogi West, is the chairman of the Senate Services Committee. The Senate standing rule stipulates that senators should order of rank. The heated argument among three senators began while the Senate President Godswill Akpabio read his welcome address. Goje and Yao, who were sitting on the second row on the right side of the aisle, signaled they did not like the seat allocated to them by the Senate Services Committee. Like you can see there, the senators insisted that they should have been assigned seats on the front row on the extreme right, opposite the row of the Majority Leader and the Deputy Senate President. Now, media reports that the Red Chamber is using its refurbished chamber 2 years after renovations began on it. Now, this is our House reps. You've seen what is happening there. And this thing happened this morning, that they were having issues as regards seating arrangement. Is it supposed to be? No, I just want us to look at it.
Yes.
Just look at the attitudes of the senators, just because they were not given. The Senate committees, they gave them the arrangement where to sit, and they were fighting. Three of them were fighting. What is this telling on us? These are our senators. These are people that look into our matters. What goes on in Nigeria? What's your reaction on that?
Okay, first of all, I think that this situation is disrespectful and embarrassing, because this altercation happened when the House was in session. The Senate President was, I think he was giving an announcement, and then this altercation was going on. I mean, it is disrespectful, at least to the House leaders. If you're not pleased with the sitting arrangement, why not wait for the appropriate time, and then you express your displeasure to the House committee? Why do it when something else is going on? It's very, very embarrassing and disrespectful. Because what are the duties of the senators? The Senate is the highest lawmaking institution of the country. They have a lot to do. So arguing about it doesn't make any sense. At least wrong timing. Not supposed to do that at that time.
It's very embarrassing,
Very,
just
very
to say the
embarrassing.
least. Coming to the image of Nigerians is quite very embarrassing, that they shouldn't be found quarreling over sitting arrangement. They should look into the matter concerning Nigerians, not just because of the sitting arrangement.
Because that's why they are elected.
Are they? Is it that when you sit on the front that they give them money, or do you understand? Because they are trying to let us know that there is more to that.
Yeah.
Is it that when you sit in the front, you'll be given more money? Because
or respect or prestige? Yeah.
That's a question.
Yeah. It is very, very sad, actually.
They were supposed to be looking into our matter.
Our matter.
We're talking about the
affairs of the
We're talking about the economy.
Exactly.
It's scarcity of fuel. We're talking about the economy. We're talking about insecurity.
And your problem is
just sitting arrangement. Then what are you going there to deliberate? What are you going there? how will they deliberate matters? How will they look at our issues? that is the point. Now look at the image they are giving us. How will they want us to be? Because this is just it's demeaning, to say the least.
Like they lack composure.
They lack composure. Yeah, sure. Because it shouldn't be. This is our lawmakers, you know. They're supposed to be. They're supposed to treat themselves each with respect and dignity.
Exactly.
You know, instead of this. Is I think it's really quite embarrassing. It's more embarrassing, looking at it in its entirety.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're just talking about the House of Reps. Before we go into the UTME result, we're going to embark on a very short break. When we come back, we look at the matter about GEM's results.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
On the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and
All right, this is Atlantic Television Network Press Roundtable. Good to have you back on the show. Now, let's look at the UTME GEM results. The board noted that 77% of the 1 million. I just want to look at the figures very well. The board noted that 77% of the 1,842,464 candidates whose results were released on Monday scored less than 200. Why? A lawyer identified as foundational Nupe Lawyer 1 on X.com lamented the deplorable 77% failure recorded in the UTME results. Foundational Nupe Lawyer 1, who tweeted us, on Tuesday on his handle, attributed the mass failure to social media influence. Listen very carefully. Sharing his thoughts on the high failure rate, the legal practitioner expressed disappointment while blaming social media. He wrote, and I quote, "There are so many things to blame for this JAM mass failure, but what tops the list for me is social media. Children who should be busy with studying are always on social media as content creators on different platforms while neglecting their education or giving little time for it. I had to make conscious decisions to ban our last born 17 from using TikTok by not using an internet-enabled phone while preparing for her work and JAM exams. She doesn't need any internet access to study for these exams. All the materials are in hard copy, and she was left with no other option than to study hard with full focus. In fact, her accessibility to an internet-enabled device is hinged on acing the exams very well. Otherwise, no man born of a woman can make her use it. And if she does, it means she has found another sponsor for her education moving forward." He said that though social media has its advantages, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. He added, "No doubt social media has its good sides, but the negatives outweighs the positives, especially for children and teenagers. Even as adults, you have to make conscious efforts not to be swept away by the negativity and distractions of social media." Now you can see, now they're talking about UTME failures, because the JAM results was released today, and it was a whole lot of failures. So they attributed it to be for, let me just say, TikTok. Like this lawyer who is actually speaking, and he said that a lot of students, instead of them to spend time, read books, they are always seen on the social media. They are seen on the on TikTok. And what's your reaction on that? What's your reaction on this? Because I have something to say, so I just wanted to come up with something.
Okay, I think he's not entirely wrong. Social media can be distracting. Even for adults, it can be distracting. So recently, the past couple of years, I feel like the rate of JAM failures has significantly increased. Like he said, he attributed it to social media usage and all of that. Now, social media has its own advantages. Now, he's saying he stopped his younger sister from accessing an internet-enabled phone. I don't think that's entirely good on the other side, because there are some things you can find on social media. You make research, in, I don't know, maybe in his time, was it like that? Social media wasn't so accessible, but the word is gradually moving on. It's a digital word, and everything you can find, or anything you need, is on social media. Not just social media, but other search engines, So, yeah, I agree with him. I agree with him that social media is distracting to young people. So I think parents should regulate the use of social media for teenagers. Yeah, when they do that, I think would have significant results.
Is it parents should do that, or the government? There should be a law. Yeah, I know they can achieve it because,
yes, and
because of cell phone.
And I think maybe that would be a little extreme. It boils down to the parents, like they said. Like they say, I'm sorry, charity begins at home. So it's badly on the society. So it starts from the house. So the parents, they are the people to control their children when it comes to things like this.
Or is it that they have to, like, say, if you're not up to a 17 or 18, you don't have to use an internet. Let's just say you can always use Google. Okay, even in Google, you can also find out other things you can do, like banning them.
Most recently, in a particular state in the United States, the governor, they proposed a bill to restrict social media usage for children below 15 years.
Okay, below 15.
Yes, because you can find kids of 12, 10 on social media, you know, like this lawyer said, as content creators. So I think it will be a good move anyway to, you know, place restrictions on social media usage for kids below, you know, like I said, 17. Yeah, I think 17 is appropriate. 17 is appropriate, yeah.
17 and 18 is appropriate.
No, 18, you're an adult now. According to the laws of the
an
country.
adult.
Yeah,
now.
so I think from 17 or 16 below, that would be good.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of things that happens, you know, takes place on the social media. So it takes a very strong mind.
Yes.
It takes a mind to say, I do not want to do this, because you get so influenced negatively. You get so you can, I think, like he said, the lawyer said, that the disadvantages outweighs the advantages. You know, because the way people use the internet, I was so surprised. I ran into quite a young girl. It's about 14, 15, using a big phone. I don't know, he said the parents gave to him, you know, they call their children, thinking that they're raising them up well, giving them phone. And the boy just went to porn.
Oh, wow.
Went to very bad porn and all that side. And you're not up to 14, 15. And they shouldn't be. Now, tell me how such a child will concentrate in the school. Tell me how the person will read in the school.
Yeah, it would be very difficult. So I think regulation is very good.
How will they regulate it?
Okay,
let's talk about practical measures.
Yes.
Let's talk about something that can be done, something that is, you know, that you know that they can really enforce this. Because it's not about, we are not just like, you know, some systems in Nigeria whereby they would say about something and they wouldn't implement it. What about, I'm talking about parents. Parents, how would they implement it? How can they regulate it?
Okay, I think there should be limited screen time for their words.
Okay.
Maybe you can be on social media for like a couple of hours. These are that time. You're to read your books, you're to do your house chores, you know, do all of that. So, yeah.
And also, you know, parents also need to look at the sites that their children are visiting.
The thing about that now, some children might try to outsmart their parents by erasing the digital footprints. That's very, very achievable. Okay. You know, after visiting this site, you clear it. So I think, I would say, just watch your child.
Okay, watching, because most of them are very smart.
Very, very.
They are smarter than their parents. Most of them, when it comes to technology right now, you know, gadgets usage right now, because a lot of things are, you know, they keep updating and all of that. So they will outsmart their parents by wiping away all the traces, you know, so that they will not
previously visited.
Exactly.
Sites.
But okay, like you said, I think it's going to work. How about like he said that except another person who is going to sponsor her sister will make it available for her, but there's no man, no woman born out of a woman that can help her sister to access internet. That everything is in the hard copy. Now it boils down to when I wrote Jump, there was no social media. We didn't have social media.
That's a different time.
It's a different time altogether. So I think You know, those people then, just like our fathers, they read well. All those people who went to standard 6, grade level 1, grade level 5, and all of 6. You know, as in, they really read. And then, during our own time, we only go to the library. And I'm not even seeing any library, although everything is on the internet.
Yeah.
But that will give you one kind of discipline. It
I
will
think,
give you one kind of
yeah.
discipline.
Most people around.
If not, they will also resort to the phone.
Yeah.
And if they're not, if you ban the girl now, the girl will have her girlfriend where she'll be visiting, and the girl will lend her her phone.
Sneakiness.
And they will sneak it. She will sneak. And then anything she wants to do, she will do it. But not just in the house. So it is, except you build a library in your house.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
you think it makes sense?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it does. You know, that way you can regulate their reading time. Also,
but how many times, like, will you read? Like, will you read on the internet if you want to read a book?
Yes,
okay.
In
now,
high school.
Okay, in the school. Now, how many you're going to is data? You're going to burn data reading them, or they through it and then just flip and then without going through all the books. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if they're not making use of hard copies now, how will they get knowledge? How will they get a grounded knowledge?
I still think that
that's a better way.
yes, it's okay. And then I also think that limitation should be placed on the usage. Total restriction is not entirely good because, like you said,
what kind of restriction are you talking about? Are we talking about here?
I said screen time before.
Okay.
Yes, there should be stipulated hours for the usage of internet devices. You know, because total restriction can make a child go behind your back. So, like you said, they can
like
borrow
hide and
phones.
seek.
Yes, of course. And that way you cannot ascertain what the child got from that place.
She might be out of control.
Exactly. You don't know what the child went through or the contents he or she consumed. But if you make, like if you don't totally limit internet access from the child and maybe your presence, you can, you know, regulate some of the things that they see or consume on social media. You can be like, oh, maybe when the child is scrolling past this page, you'll be like, no, this page is not good for you. No, next, you know? So I feel like...
Yeah, because when they sneak in, they will now look at those things like they will ask, what is my mom or my dad hiding for me? You understand? Yeah. Sites that they shouldn't delve into.
Yes. Because they're very, very curious. They're like, I want to know this thing. This thing my mother keeps hiding from me. I want to know what is that, you know?
So other than building libraries, and is there any other thing we can really, the parents, that is achievable?
The thing is, you can never be too careful. You can never know everything a child does.
Okay.
So just find a way, try to immerse yourself or immerse yourself in that child's life, their daily activities. I'm not saying exactly police them, but try to, you know, be around them, have conversations with them, get to be free, make them comfortable enough to tell you stuff.
Yeah, because that is what is in my mind.
Yeah.
When you communicate very well with your children, you know, you'll be able to tell them the dangers associated with the internet. Yeah. You'll be able to tell them what they see. Because most of all those on the social media is fake life. Mainly, let me just say...
It's not reality.
Not really, not just quite. Yeah. We have realities there. But when you have this conversation with your children, you let them know that most of these lifestyles are not really what it is in the real life. Because these are content, and you tell them that they are making money out of it. That is why they put it out, because people will put out on the social media what they want you to see, what they want you to, not the real situation on ground.
Yeah.
Now, if you have this serious discussion with them and telling them, you can also be influenced. You let them know what do you want to study in school. You sit down because, during this conversation, you find out what you want to do, who are your friends, what do you do, you just be free. Tell them about your life, how you were able to, the dangers and the mistakes you've made so that they wouldn't repeat the mistakes, And you tell them the dangers of social media. Social media is okay. You go there, there's some content there that are also educative. Entertaining, you can ease off your mind, but children at that age, they said children are future leaders. They are the generations we see today. So if you pause, saying those things, they are so they I don't know the words to use to qualify that, the adjective to use to qualify that, because it's really, some of them are nauseating. You wouldn't want your child, you wouldn't want your children to see a naked person, a naked woman, and it's making, that is what is increasing immorality. Affecting what they have in their gray matter. It's affecting their reading ability. It's affecting who they are. Now, instead of you to become a better person, you now turned up and becoming something else.
Even as adults, social media consumption can have negative effects on adults too, because you're constantly consuming negative information and all of that. It would tell on you. It can be depressing sometimes too.
All right, well, that's the what we can take on that, on the UTME failure. They're saying it's about phones, it's about TikTok, it's just about the social media. So we're actually trying to beckon on parents to look at ways and means to make sure that their children are, better, they are living exemplary life, so that the phones, social media wouldn't affect their academic performances. Building a library will go a long way in helping them. Your child is doing, both at schools, you need to know your children's friends, you need to know the association where they go to. You place restrictions on them, have a discussion, and also raise them up in a godly way. Because once you raise up a children in a godly way, they won't forget it. They won't just be among, because there are some persons, when we see them on the social media, we'll be like, do they really have brothers and sisters? Do they really have uncles? Do they have mothers and fathers? The kind of content they put out there. And now young children are just striving daily to create content instead of reading. So you parents watching us here, please try as much as possible to put restrictions on your children's visit phones. Not just stopping them, it's not really quite okay. Stopping them to visit the dangers, and tell them that the disadvantages outweighs the advantages. Now let's look at what is going on in Ekiti State. Ekiti students under the aegis of the Federation of Ekiti State Students Union on Tuesday demanded justice for a co-member of Ekiti origin allegedly killed by a trigger-happy police man at Obomosho in Oyo State last week. First National President Benjamin Adekunle called for a proper investigation into the shooting and killing of co-member with a view to bringing the Vashoye, so that he could liaise with the Oyo State counterpart to ensure justice for the deceased and the family. Now, recall that the students of the Lasutech had last week called for justice for the core members allegedly killed by the police and condemned police brutality in strong terms. The deceased, a core member serving in Ibadan, had attended a convocation party of his brother Oluwafemi in Obomosho when the incident whereby he was shot dead allegedly by the police happened. Now, I don't know if you really follow the stories of what happened, because although we do not have much time now to stay on this matter. Is about a policeman who they were shooting, not just only one person, and they were shooting sporadically. A boy, a core member who attended a convocation of his brother, was hit by that bullet. And they were saying that the man then, I'm just trying to recall what really happened, because we've really discussed about this here. Yes. That man has this attitude of shooting and harassing Yahoo boys, extorting money from them. Now, the students are protesting, demanding for justice. Why are they protesting? Is it that nothing is being done? Is it because that nothing is being done on the matter? You know, because it has to do with police. Now this is police versus, we just have to call it police versus the commissioner or police, because it's a murder case. And you know what murder case is all about. Now the students are protesting justice for the slaying a corps member who was really shot dead. But I just want to talk about the attitude of the police. Is it that when is a matter concerns them, they're not going to look into the matter very well? Do you have anything to say on this?
I would like to say rest in peace to the soul of the corps member.
Yes.
And also, if protest is erupting, it means that there has been no significant, action to this very tragic event. So I feel like, or I think that the government should, arrest and charge the particular policeman in question, charge him to court. He should go to trial, and if he's found guilty, he should be punished accordingly.
Okay, so as they are demanding for justice, just in my own voice, please let them see justice. Yes, because we have a clean system. We have a clean system in Nigeria. So let them also make sure that these people are being punished accordingly, because this is actually a murder case.
Yes.
And it's a corps member. Is a hope of the family, and the policeman in question who shot the guy his antecedent. The antecedent was so bad, based on his relationship with the Yahoo boys and the way he threatens people. So I think there's a need for them to do